Hi, everyone. Katie Harris here, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs. So, very excited to share something with you that we have been doing that actually works. And it has really changed the way that we do lead generation and finding people and really taking their information and being able to do something useful with it without like really manual process. So I'm going to show you today what we use for our Facebook group to collect emails and what we end up doing with those emails and how you can do the same, because one of the first things that you want to do when you're starting out or you're building a business is create some sort of customer base or potential customer base. Okay, so this is, if you don't have a Facebook group, then this is not going to be pertinent to you. But if you're thinking about starting a Facebook group or you have a Facebook group already, then this is, you really want to hear about this It's a Chrome extension that I'll show you how we use it and what it does. So very, very exciting. I would say that if you're a coach, consultant, you do course creation, anything like that, where you want to have an audience, then a Facebook group is probably a good place to start. So, we always talk about keeping your, let's say, the problem that you solve consistent with or cohesive with a particular group. So if there is that topic as a Facebook group, if that exists, then those people identify in a certain way and you can access those people, right? There's not really a Facebook group for just women, right? It's way more specific than that, or just men, because there's lots of different things in there. So if you start a Facebook group, the first thing that you do is you want to get people in there and you can tag them and welcome them to the group and all that kind of good stuff. But ultimately what happens is that Facebook, the way the Facebook algorithm works, makes it very, very difficult to communicate in a Facebook group. So we have about 12,000 plus nurses in our Facebook community. But if I put a post out, the first thing Facebook does is it shows it to a small fraction of the people in that group. It doesn't go out to 12,000 people. It's just, that doesn't happen at all. So it'll show it to a couple of people. If they have some sort of response or interaction, then Facebook will say, okay, let me show it to some more people. And then it'll put it in the feed of more people that are in the group. But if nobody really interacts or posts on that particular news feed item, then it just gets buried inside of the Facebook group. So the only way for me the Facebook group is not a great medium, if you will, for communication, right? So one of the first things that we wanted to do was get people from the Facebook group into an email list. Because for me, the email list is really, really powerful because that's where I can communicate what's going on. Now, email is not 100% either. It definitely has a much better reach. We'll get about 20 to 25% open rate, which is huge for email. Okay. But if I do a Facebook post and try and communicate that way, maybe 1% will see it, which is really, really low considering the size of the group. So I can't depend on a Facebook group for communication or to let people know what's going on. So one of the things that I do is try to get them on a email list. Now, previously, what we did was we had a lead magnet, right? So when you came in, we have questions that you answer, and you put your email address in there. But if at the point where somebody is admitted into the Facebook group, if that isn't captured at that moment, Facebook doesn't store any of that information. It goes off into space, right? So I was working with a group that has like 500,000 members in their group, and they get like 100 invites a day, and they tried to capture those email addresses because you have to put your email address in, but it's such a manual process and it's so cumbersome, and they just they didn't have a process for it. So it became really frustrating, and there were email addresses all over the place, and it was just kind of messy, right? So they eventually gave that up. But if you get 100 new leads a day, when you try and communicate in that group, you could post something, and if you have a group that large, you post something, I mean, there's literally 100 posts that go on top of it right off the bat. And I did that. I had a post in there and then I couldn't find it. I'm like, where's this post? Like nobody's seeing my post. So it's not the best way to communicate. So what we did initially was, okay, somebody comes into the group, let's offer some sort of lead magnet so that they would give us the email address and we would get them on our email list that way. And then I found this other opportunity to capture email list at that point of contact. So I'll show you our Facebook group. Let me share my screen real fast and we'll go through this. Because this is great if you, again, if you want to establish credibility with a group and have people in your group, and you don't need thousands of people. I mean, if you just had a group of like 100 people or 20 people, it doesn't matter. If those people are really interested in what you're saying, you can certainly make a business out of that with a few people. But you want to be able to communicate with them as well. So what we did initially, and this has been in place since the beginning. I think I started this group in 2018 or 2019. I don't remember, but we have these questions, right? So what type of nurse business are you hoping to launch? Because we want to know who's coming into the group and what they're interested in. So we can curate information, programs, webinars, training sessions all around what it is that the types of businesses that our nurses have. Then we have, please provide an email address. And then the third question we just recently changed to, do you want us to private message you about some of the offerings that we have? So if I didn't have anything set up, once somebody fills these questions in and they're accepted into the group, these questions get lost. Okay, and that's the part that was really frustrating because we could say we're going to send you a gift, but I can't capture their email again, and it it was going nowhere. And these are questions that you just that's not part of this training, but you just add your email questions. When you own a group, you get this extra layer of admin. So there's membership questions and you just go in here. So what happens, how can I capture these questions so that I can use them? So I found this program that's called Group Funnels. Okay, so you see up here in my extension, my Chrome extension bar, and it only works in Chrome, so you do have to download Chrome. It has this GF. This is for Group Funnels. Okay, so Group Funnels, when it comes up, basically, I'm gonna log in. You come in, and we have this set up so that what happens is we go to View Data, right? We manage our group. Why is this not on here? Anyway, so what we do is we put our Facebook group. It must be because I'm on a different computer than I normally use. But anyway, what I would do is take the URL of my my community here, right? So copy and paste, put that in here, right? And then it finds that community and connects. Okay. And then the next thing you do is you go into Google and you grab a Google sheet, like the Excel spreadsheet that's in Google, and you put that here, okay? And then you save it. And what happens is that every time, like let's say once a day, or you have your admin, or you do it, or once a week, whatever, it doesn't matter. What you do is you add these two. There's a section that says push the data, right? Which is really great. So all of the information that comes from the Facebook questions, it will go from the Facebook group onto this Google sheet. And that's what I have here, right? So I deleted out names and emails because for privacy reasons, but you can see, and I'll just scroll down here, we've got like thousands of people's names, emails, addresses, and really kind of what they're interested in. So the different questions that we've asked, the business type that they're interested in, and what people have answered. So that is like the beauty, absolute beauty of Group Funnels, because it's completely automated. You don't have to do a thing other than come in here once a while and say, there's a little button that says push to Google Sheet, and that is it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. And when I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. This is so much easier because, I mean, otherwise you have to pay somebody to manually put down all the emails, hope they transcribe them correctly, then put them into an email service provider. And that was just, it's such a manual process. You can absolutely do that, but something like this will change your life, especially if you have multiple people entering your group. That's also another discussion that we can have, and I'm certainly happy to do that, like how to get more people into your group. I think it would be a good topic to talk about. But before you get more people in your group, you want to set something like this up. Totally easy. All you do is just go to this the Chrome store, and I'll show you. Let's see, I put a URL in the there's our groups, right? I put a URL in the thread here. So this is the group funnels. Okay, I don't own this software. I don't have anything to do with this software. It's just I found this and I really like it. And so I'm just sharing it with you. That's the only thing that's going on here. So ready to automate your new Facebook group member onboarding. And that's what this is. So you can go through this, see if it would be something for you. And then they go through the process. Now, the other thing that we do, and this is for those of you who are maybe not afraid of tech and doing something a little extra, we automate this process even more because it wasn't enough. Like we got this Excel spreadsheet, which is great, but this is still like a manual process at this point to take all of this information and do something with it. So this is what we do now. We go through a system called Zapier, and Zapier is just cloud-based software that they do these zaps, right? Like if this, then that. So if this happens, then I want that to happen. If somebody joins the Facebook group and their name and email goes onto a Google spreadsheet, then I want you to do this. Okay, that's all Zapier is. And it's super simple the way they have you set it up. And that's what I have here. So I have several zaps. They have thousands and thousands of zaps. This is free. Like I think it's your first 5 zaps are free, and your first, I don't know, 1,000 tasks are all free, so that you only have one zap. I have multiple zaps, so I'm on a paid plan, and we have quite a few. Our months just turned over. We have 28 days. We're already up to 300 tasks. So by the end of the month, I'll be pretty close to 5,000 zaps here. But basically what we do is once the names go on the Google Sheet, then we have a zap that sends them to our email service provider. Okay. So what happens is the person signs up, and this is completely automated. Nobody touches this. It's on complete autopilot. Person signs up for the Facebook group. They put in their email and they answer the questions. The questions go through group funnels, okay, and end up on this Google spreadsheet right here, right? As soon as they hit this Google spreadsheet, Zapier is alerted and it says, hey, I have something to do. The zap that I have set up is Google spreadsheet to ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is our email service provider, okay? And basically what we have in the email service provider is Facebook. We have a Facebook group join. Okay, so Zapier automatically sends all of those emails to a Facebook group join automation that's already set up. And this is a super simple automation here. They immediately get an email that says, welcome to the group. Here's your free gift, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the other thing that happens with this, one, they get that email, and then they can also, from this point, you can do anything. You can send them into an indoctrination series. You can, have your sales rep call them. You can call them yourself. You can send them a personal email. You can do a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you can do here. The next thing we do, let's see if I can find it. Well, I'll just tell you that one of the automations that you can do in ActiveCampaign, and I'm pretty sure we have this set up, but it was to put a custom audience into Facebook, which was really nice. So this Facebook custom audience, so as soon as somebody joins the group, they get put on the spreadsheet, they get entered into the ActiveCampaign email sequence. At that point, you can also create a custom audience in Facebook. So if you're doing Facebook ads, then you can create an audience and then create a lookalike audience from there. And those are things that we get into in some of our more advanced programs, where we help people to set up Facebook ads so that they can target the people that they're looking for. So a custom audience, you can either target ads to that custom audience, or what you can do is create a lookalike to find more people that are just like the people that just joined your Facebook group, right? So if you have an ad series set up where you want to bring in more people into your Facebook group, then you want people that are already like the type of people that found you in the first place. So the whole thing is completely automated and it's really amazing. So this is something that if you are, again, coach, course creator, consultant, or anybody who needs a platform to talk about what you're doing and your space and educate people, then one, you should have a Facebook group, right? You should be able to identify a group of people that will resonate with your message, start getting people in that group. You want to be able to communicate with them. In order to communicate with them, you have to be able to reach them. The way the Facebook algorithm is at this point, your message is not, if you're completely relying on Facebook posts to communicate with your audience, you can forget about it because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to get in that person's feed. And if you think about it, if you open your phone right now and look at your Facebook feed, first of all, my feed is full of ads. Second of all, it's full of, I don't know, I was watching, those Darman videos. So they're full of those videos of, watch this person be mean to this person type of thing, and they get the revenge. So that's my entire feed. Like I'm literally in 100 groups and I don't really see their messages at all. So the only way for them to really communicate with me is through email. You really, really, I strongly, strongly recommend that you put together an email list so that you can communicate more with your audience. Okay. So having said that, you want to, one, start your Facebook group. Two, get this group funnels. This is a Chrome extension. And again, you just, the link is in the body here, the thread. Get this Chrome extension, get it installed in your Chrome browser, and then set it up. And it literally is just, here's your Facebook group, here's the Google Sheet, press a button that says, push to Sheet. If you want to do something more advanced, you can stop there and then you'll just have all the emails in a sheet and you can do what you want with them. But if you want to take it a step further, you can set up a free Zapier account, right? Add a task, Google Sheet, to your email service provider. If you don't have ActiveCampaign, maybe you have MailChimp, that's also in here. Please, 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 please do not send emails without an email service provider. Okay, you can get in a lot of trouble. You can get your Google email shut down. You can get your Yahoo account shut down. Please use an email service provider. I know it's another cost and it's a pain. MailChimp is free, so if you want to just do MailChimp, that's a possibility as well. Though for $9 a month, ActiveCampaign is so robust, so amazing. So highly recommend that. But if you want a really tight budget, then you can use a lot of free software. The Zapier is free. The Google Sheets should be free if you have a free Gmail account. Your email service provider, if you get MailChimp, that can be free. So all of this can be set up super simply. And then you have that and you are able to communicate with your audience, let them know about events coming up, let them know about programs that you have, share some value with them, let them know when you're going live, if you've done YouTube videos, whatever it is, okay? Now, email deliverability is a whole nother topic that we can talk about, and I'm going to be doing a lot of these lives on Friday afternoons, so bringing you more value and just helping you to get your businesses up and running and moving forward. All right. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to put a list of steps that you can do in the thread, and I'll do that now. So you can follow along, get the group funnels. If you have a Facebook group, get group funnels. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And again, I don't. It's priced. I believe it's at $300 for that Chrome extension. But if you're going to have a group and you're serious about list building, it's a no-brainer. Like, I couldn't get my credit card out fast enough to spend money on group funnels. It's a one-time fee. Thankfully, it's not a subscription. The subscriptions drive me nuts. But it's a Chrome browser, and it'll make your life so much easier. Hope this is helpful. Put any questions you have in the thread, and I'll be sure to answer them. And I'll talk to you guys soon.